Okay, so welcome. We're so happy that we have Alicia with us today. Jessica is on vacation, so she was not able to make it. But today is actually our last call of the group. Is that so crazy? I know, it like stuck up on me too. I realized it this morning and I was like, what the heck? So actually, just like a last minute decision, Alicia and I decided that we are going to do like a 30-minute wrap up call probably in 2 weeks, I think. So we'll send out an email for that because it was just like this just snuck up on us, and we're like, wait a second, like we want to have like a celebration of everyone and maybe like even answer any last minute questions and stuff like that. And we did miss one module because we extended the food and water. So I'll talk to you more about that at the end. But yeah, so we're gonna do that and we'll send out an email, but it'll probably be in about 2 weeks. When does school start or do you guys have school age kids, and when school start for you?
We homeschool, but we're gonna start August 21st.
Okay. All right, cool. And then Emily, do you have school age kids? I don't know when
I
it
do.
starts.
They start August 19th.
August 19th. Okay, my kids start the 14th. So I was kind of like, oh, it would kind of work out to do it either the week before, like the week before school starts, because I know the week before school starts, it's like cray. Or the week that school starts, like after they're in the school. So I'll take a look at that schedule and send out an email and we'll figure that out. But I think that'll be good. And it'll be a shorter call. It'll be like 30 minutes and we'll just kind of I want to celebrate you guys. I think you guys did so good and you made massive changes in this like very short amount of time, and that's a huge deal. So yay, bravo. And then the other thing is if you haven't gotten any posts like a post call thing in, or even if you have, we just want to ask you if you could just remember to fill those out because they're so helpful for us to like create something that will be extremely valuable for you and for other women that will be in the group. And we like your feedback is like super important to us. I know you hear that all the time from like different companies and stuff, but it's like really true because we want to give you guys what you want, you know what I mean, and what's going to be helpful for you. So did you have anything else to say about that, Alicia?
No, yeah, it's just yeah, amen to all of that. Like we just
Yeah.
like if any of this has been helpful to you, like I mean, it all obviously has been a little condensed because like our whole methodology is simple, like not, too much at once. So it's been a little bit anti that, I know. But like if it's been helpful to you, we want like we're just so passionate about the way that we do preparedness because not a lot of people do it this way, and we just feel like the world really needs like a little bit more peaceful aspects to it. And so if you resonate with that, we would really appreciate your help. Like just, like with the feedback and testimonials and things to help people understand the value.
Yeah, we'd love to know what you loved, what you didn't love, and what you think could be better and stuff like that. So, and you guys are so good about that on the calls. So we'll just go on with that. Okay. All right. So today we are going to be can you guys still see me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I just opened up a different tab on my phone because I wanted to open up our lists. Okay. Today we're going to be talking about health things. Let me get where I want to be. Okay, perfect. Some holistic health. So I would love to know, we'll just do this like we normally do. We'll go around and I would love to hear what you guys chose for your baby step and how it went. Who wants to go first?
I can't. Oh, you got.
Sorry, you can go ahead. I just like went through your list of like all those different recommendations and started to find options for each of them um, just through Amazon. So I have everything stacked in my cart. I haven't bought anything yet, but I've got it all in my cart. So that's my baby step.
Nice. What
That's a
kinds
good
of things are you buying? Like, what are you hoping to address or do?
Yeah. I let's see. What did I grab? The garlic. So I already had taken garlic when I've been sick in the past. Um, my mother-in-law actually is like super into the garlic. So I'm
Mhm.
just like buying some more. Um, I hadn't ever heard about the is it D-Manos? D-Manos? Um, like supplement for UTIs.
Uh-huh.
So I'm gonna grab some of that.
Nice.
Um, to see how that works for me. Um, I mean, hopefully I never have to use it, but like I'd rather have it on hand and not need it.
Totally.
Well, and the thing that is like so important with those types of things, like so many people, or at least in my own experience, for years, I had like a really bad yeast infection, like for almost a year. This is so embarrassing. Like I had it almost for a year and didn't do anything. But it's like if you start to feel like vaginal itching, you can just take it, and it like you don't have to wait like until it gets really bad. That's the thing that I think is so important with this type of stuff. So I think it's
That's
smart to
super
like have it on hand, you know?
totally. Yeah. Okay, wait, so does the D-Manos also work for like yeast infection as well, or is it just like
Yeah. I mean, well,
both?
actually, Alexis, was that you, the D-Manos? I've never actually used the D-Manos.
That was not me. That must
Oh,
have been
really?
Jessica. I've never used it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I sway
Cool.
toward the grapefruit seed extract and oregano oil.
Same.
Those are really
Yeah.
potent. I
Oh,
don't know enough about D-Manos, but like Jessica, I know has been doing a program, so it's probably
Mhm.
so it's probably great too. But just I can't speak for that personally. I just have oregano oil and the grapefruit seed, like or
Mhm.
oregano oil like pills that I take for
and you do
yeast.
those
Yeah.
combined
And they're
together?
fire. Alicia is especially your brand. I don't know if you put it in there, but I
I don't
used your oregano pills one time and it was great.
I don't usually do both at the same time. I'll kind of, I don't know, sometimes I will, but a lot of times I'll just pray because like I'll usually do a higher dose than they say. I mean, I'm not
Mhm.
recommending this, at all. I'm just saying
Same.
like that's what
I
I
like
do.
double it.
Yeah, like I really just pray a lot and I say like how many is the right amount, and like I think oregano you can take three times a day from one that I've had, but like when you hit it hard at the beginning with those types of things, it's just better, so it
Kind of
doesn't.
nips it.
Right.
And I
Yeah,
also
I love the grapefruit seed extract for most things. Like it's very versatile. Like I've even taken it when I had like a viral infection, like a sickness, and it worked really well. But like I had mastitis with my first really bad, and they gave me an antibiotic, and so I tried that, but it made my baby really sick. And so then my mother-in-law was like, "Oh, take the grapefruit seed extract," and it cleared it up, no problem. So, but I like the Nutribiotic brand. It's a good brand, and they sell it at Sprouts. So, but
Everything
Alicia, you had a really good brand. It was like a bulk one that I felt like was highly effective.
I know, but it's not in stock anymore. I bought it years ago and now it's like
Dang
it's
it.
lasted me for so long. I know. But
It
I
was
was gonna
so
say
good.
too, with like any type of infection, something that I typically like to do is like remove, not in an extreme way, but like if you think about it, any like inflammatory type foods. Like I try to go way more off dairy. I don't usually do a ton of dairy, but like dairy is so inflammatory that like and it's just like mucus producing. So when your body's already trying to fight off other stuff, I like try to avoid dairy and sugar, but like also if it adds stress, that's just going to make you more sick. So it's, like always a balance, right? So if it feels like natural to do that, then great. But those things just add to if your body's trying to fight the infection.
That's really good.
Yeah.
I like that.
Cool.
Cool. What else? What other questions do you have, Mackenzie?
Um, not a lot of other questions. Um, oh, something that I haven't heard a ton about was the activated charcoal. And like the impression that I got was kind of just like you can just like take it whenever there's like sickness. Is that like kind of the general idea, or is it more specific than that?
Yeah. Yeah, I can speak to this one. So with activated charcoal, you do have to be a little careful. It's one that I'm a little bit more intentional with. I usually only do it with like diarrhea and like vomiting, like more
Okay.
that type of thing, because the idea with activated charcoal and kind of the idea behind it is that, at least from what I've understood, is like when you take it with food or other supplements, it like can bind to, because the idea is that it binds to like the bad and pulls it out of your body, but it can also bind to the good too. It's not like so selective. And so if you're taking other supplements, take them like a couple hours apart. Or like if you're eating something that like you're sick and you're trying to get the nutrients in your body, like either do it a couple hours before, a couple hours after. With baby, like it is safe for babies. Like I felt comfortable, or I'll just speak for myself. I like for myself, like I gave it to my son when he was probably like 8 months. And like, but with babies and kids, like you can't really, I mean, at least for me personally,
You can, I looked it up. You can give it to babies.
totally, no,
But yeah.
that's good. And you can just
Yeah.
like put it in applesauce and like mix it up a little bit or something, but like just pour out the powder, like part of the pill. But I think we put this in the notes, but you don't want to like, if they're still vomiting actively and like can't get to the bathroom quick enough, which I mean most little kids can't, you know, like you don't want to give them the activated charcoal just because like we gave it to my son and he threw up all over the rug and it just like gets black everywhere, you know, and stains really bad. So just word of caution. I mean, if they could keep it down, I would say like it's one of my first things to take, but just you don't want to risk that, you know.
Mhm.
Good to
So
know.
yeah, I don't really do it for other stuff just because usually that's just more if there's like a bad bug and you know, I'm sure it would work for other stuff too, but I just haven't heard for it as much, you know, just because it can
Mhm.
pull out the
Yeah.
nutrients as well. So
Okay, cool. Good to know.
Yeah, they actually offer activated charcoal on ambulances when you accidentally poison yourself, and drug overdoses, oral drugs and stuff like that. So it's a powerful tool. So yeah. Okay. How are you like feeling? Is like some of this stuff like kind of new to you, or is it kind of like, oh, like I'm pretty comfortable, or is it kind of like, whoa, this is like a lot, like
It was a little bit of a mix. There were definitely some things that like I'd heard about, like I've heard a lot about like magnesium, and I don't remember your whole list, but there was like another like couple of recommendations that I was like, oh yeah, like I should make sure I have those things because I've heard about them a couple of times now. But there
Mm.
were a couple of those, like the activated charcoal, was it the um low medium, or I don't know.
low
There
mention.
was something on there that I had never heard of before. So it was a little bit of a mix of trying to figure out some of the newer recommendations and like what I would read to have those in my cabinet versus not, or like so it just gave looking into them a little bit more. And then a reminder just to like stock up on the things like the garlic or whatever that like
Yes. Oh, your sound's going out a little bit.
oh no, sorry.
That's fine.
You hear me now?
Yeah, I think I'm
Yes.
covered.
Okay, I think I just put my hand over the speaker. I didn't realize.
Oh,
You're good.
I do that too.
Anyway.
That's good. And I think too, like with these lists, like we're never like, hey, get all of these things. It's really like, okay, this is like what we use and what we've been like really successful with. And the Lord knows like what you might need in the coming, you know, weeks or months or whatever. And so we just continue to invite you guys to like pray about like, hey, what do you think I need? And, you know, like get yourself in like a good, I don't know, like a good mode to receive. Like I always think about that because like, you know, sing a hymn or I don't know, you know, anyway, read a scripture or something like that. And pray and ask the Lord, like, what do you think I need? And what would be beneficial for me in the next, you know, few months or in the next year or whatever to have on hand. And I mean, and he'll tell you. And I think like once you do, if you get it, and then once you do need that thing, you'll be like, whoa, like I prayed about this and he told me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Totally. And I think especially too, as you become open-minded to like just all like just different options. Like when Alexis was starting kind of on her journey, she didn't have a lot of stuff, but I would just like she's like, what should I take for this? And I would like bring great.
Alicia had like a little apothecary in her home. So
it's taken me years to build up though. And so like that's the thing. Like really when I first started out, like the chiropractor I went to, I was like, I need to have all the things and know all of them. But it's like you just learn when you have those illnesses and you're like, okay, I'm gonna run to Sprouts or I'm gonna run to like the nearest health food store because I can't wait for Amazon even though it's a day, you know. And just
Yeah.
like then you have the oregano oil and then you know you get the charcoal, like, you know, and because it's easy to see the list and then like want to buy it all. And like that's also fine too if that feels right, you know, but I don't know. I think oftentimes it's tempting to do that because we just don't know, but
Mhm.
Yeah.
Totally. And they're also at Sprouts, like in their like natural medicine section, they usually have somebody there that can like answer questions and they're pretty good about it. And if they're not there, you can just ask somebody and they'll grab them or, like there have been times where I've had to ask questions and they were like extremely helpful. And I know it's like always a certain person because if they're not there, like they're not there. They're like, sorry, I can't help
Yeah.
you, or they'll make a phone call or something. So
Yeah.
So yeah.
the other piece of this too, these are just like ideas that we do. Like, because again, going back to like not being extreme, it's like I still take ibuprofen. That was like one that like I was a little bit too extreme probably for a long time. And the Lord really like invited me and he was like, Alicia, you need to like stop being so prideful about this. Like yes, natural solutions are powerful, potent, like less toxic in a lot of ways. That's true. However, like you will hurt relationships, you might hurt yourself by like thinking that there's only one way to do it, and so I don't know, I have really had to be humbled a lot in all of this, and because I was very, very extreme on the holistic side, like Alexis could tell you, very extreme, like out of fear and a lot of things, but like that's why it's such a passion of mine to share with others, because I'm like there's so much like truth, I believe, to a lot of this stuff, even the word of wisdom and like herbs and things like that, but there's still tools that like actually are really good. And like if you have a headache and you can't be a mom, like take a freaking ibuprofen, like that happens to me. Like I would wait days and I would just like not be able to show up, and so anyways, that's my little rant.
Awesome.
Anything else, Mackenzie? You feel good?
No, yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about where I'm at right now. And I just need to like, make my final decisions and decide how exactly what my priorities need to be here before I push my purchase button. Oh my God.
I love that. Yeah, I love like kind of figuring out your priorities, and you could even, if you have like a trusted friend to bounce ideas off of and stuff like that. I think that's really important because I don't know. I think that when we give these resources, like the last thing, and like there's so many different resources that the Lord has given, right? But the last thing that he wants is to create overwhelm. That's not his plan. So I think it's important that you feel peace about things before you pull the trigger and,
Yeah.
so.
For sure. Thanks.
Okay. Mikkel, did you want to go next?
Sure. So I, along with like the low tox food, I've been trying to do low tox medications and try out the herbs and stuff. So I have quite a few of like the earthly tinctures. I don't know if you've heard of that brand. Yeah, trying to not do Tylenol and ibuprofen as much, those sort of things. So there were a few new things. I had never heard of Lomatium. So I was really interested in learning about that. And the detox baths, usually I just do Epsom salt with my kids, but I really want to do that whole combination with like the clay and the baking soda and all that stuff. That sounds awesome. But I did have a really interesting experience that happened this week because colloidal silver is something that I've been meaning to buy. I just keep forgetting.
It's my favorite. I love it.
And I got an ear infection. This not like an eardrum infection, just a skin infection inside my ear. And it was really painful. And I went to the doctor this past week and she's like, yeah, we need to put you on antibiotics, but it's going to make your baby sick. She's like, yeah, it's going to give your baby diarrhea and it's going to increase your risk for thrush. And I was just a mess because I'm so grateful that antibiotics exist, but I did not want to take them and make her sick if I didn't have to.
Yes, that just adds to
so
the problems.
I was just like, oh, why am I not more prepared? Like I've been meaning to buy these things, but you don't realize how much you actually want them until you actually need them. And it was just such a testimony builder to me of preparedness that like you need to buy these things when you don't need them. So you have them when you do need them. So yeah, it was like a good little get my behind in gear and get the things that I've been putting off getting. So I have them next time. And thankfully I didn't need to take the antibiotics this time and we're okay. But yeah, I was like, all right, I need to get serious about this. I need to get this stuff. So I'm getting the colloidal silver. And I actually did when I forgot who mentioned it in the group chat, the liquid magnesium. I actually have some of that and totally forgot about it until they brought it up again. So I started soaking my feet in that again. But I did have a couple questions. One, Lamotium, the detox rash scares me. Talk to me about, yeah, like what you use it for and why you think it's like the number one thing you want to have in your cabinet. And yeah, is the detox rash really that bad? Like I was reading about that and it just kind of scared me a little bit.
Yes, totally. I know. I debated putting it on because Alexis and Jessica haven't used it, but it's literally like the thing that I always go to. Like my son just knows it's the gross medicine now. Whenever he's sick, he's like, no, not the gross one. So anyways, I mean, I personally had to do a lot of preparation. I worked with like a chiropractor to like get myself in order because your liver is what typically like one of the organs that's helped to detox and get rid of a lot of things. But when your liver is like kind of clogged, which kind of all of ours on some level because of kind of the world that we live in probably are clogged, right? And they can get clogged with like different emotions, but also just toxins, you know, hormones, different things like that. Anyway, so the thing is when you use Lomatium, it starts to really like release and like detox those things at like a really rapid pace. So on their website, they talk all about it, which I'm glad, you know, so like follow all of their protocols. I did like a liver supplement thing for a couple months before, like I prepared for it, you know, and I tried to do like more lemon water, which is really good for liver, you know, like I tried to really get in the place. For me personally, I didn't actually have the rash because I had been doing so much preparation. However, I had like, they also say that anger, like an anger detox is really common. I don't know if they put it on the website or not, but like I was like really mean for a couple weeks, like, and I knew that it was coming, but it was very weird, you know. So I mean, I mean, on their website and stuff like that, like you hear people like are like, I thought I had to go to the ER because like, you know, like I thought I was dying. Like that's literally like the type of reactions people can have. So just use it as like if it feels right to you, you can do it and like prepare in the way that they tell to. With my son, I started him younger and he was fine with it. So like he can take it now consistently, you know, because he takes it enough. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I've had other people that have, a lot of people are scared off just by the fact of the rash, which is fine. Like it may not be the right thing, you know, like, or at the right time, right? Maybe there's a time down the road where you're like, oh, this is right. You know, for me, I felt really led to it. So, but
Okay.
it's just a potent antimicrobial, antibacterial, like anti everything. And so whenever we're sick, we take it. And yeah, so it's tricky because like you kind of have to be ready to use it, but then once you're ready, you can use it whenever, you know, so.
Okay. Yeah, that's really cool. I'd never heard of it, so I wasn't really interested to learn about it.
Yeah.
But then my other question is with like the different earthly tinctures and the herbs and all these different things is with like preparedness. I know my dad, when he was, you know, going through all of this preparedness, he got a lot of like the big Costco bottles of Tylenol and ibuprofen, all these things because they stored for a really long time. How long do these more natural remedies kind of store well long term just for like food storage emergency preparedness kind of aspect?
When I've talked to like medical professionals about this before, like one of my chiropractors, like he said, like they technically have expiration dates, but like it just decreases the potency over time. It still is
Okay.
effective. So like just the herbs, I mean, I still use a ton of expired supplements, I'll be honest. And like I know a lot of chiropractors that will sell expired stuff, expired, right? You know, it's weird. Like with food, I'm a little like Jessica and Alexis don't care as much about expired food. I don't care about the expired medicine.
Oh, I
No.
care about expired food.
Oh, do you? Jessica's
I
more
have
like
learned to
flexible.
care about expired food.
No, I'm just like weird about it. Like obviously, like you can tell with cans and stuff with food, but like yeah, with the medical
Cans,
stuff.
I'm not that, but like if it's like produce or if
Yeah.
it's like not in a can, because cans
Okay.
actually, yeah. But anyway, sorry, go on.
No, you're good. But yeah, so yeah, all that to say, like basically just I think over time it just decreases the potency. But I don't know. I'm always like, well, if something happens and I couldn't, like I'm just gonna pray that the power can be increased of whatever I have, you know. So
Yeah. Okay. That's good to know.
I think also like with these things, if you're kind of thinking about expiration dates and stuff, it's like don't buy a ton of it at once. You know what I mean? Like buy like one bottle and then like be using it or whatever. And then when you feel to replace it, like if it expires, then you can buy another one. But I'm just kind of thinking about like, I don't know. It's I guess there's a possibility of sheltering in place for multiple years or something, but like it seems unlikely. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like I know I'm in like the emergency preparedness realm, but I am just really of a thought process that it's like, we don't necessarily need to worry about worst case scenario all the time. Sometimes we need to just prepare for every day, and thinking about worst case scenario has its place, but um anyways, so that's where prayer comes in, and Heavenly Father will tell you like how much you need and stuff like that. But I would say if you're kind of worried about the expiration date, just don't buy as much, so it's not as much of a financial hit to like replace it, you know.
Really.
Anyway, we almost got into a little rant about fear-based things. Held off on that, but one day we'll talk about it.
A thought that popped in my head too is just like, as you guys are doing this and like learning and just like feeling to buy it, like you will start to see that you're gonna like, and this was like kind of like a scarcity thing I had to overcome myself, was like starting to share the supplements that I had spent so much time, money, and energy building up. But I started to realize like my grapefruit seed extract, like it literally lasted me like 12 years or however long, I don't know, I'm exaggerating, but like it's like how often do you actually need it? Yeah, you need a certain amount at a certain time, but then it's like it feels so good to be able to say like, oh my gosh, I can help my friend like dealing with this, so she doesn't have to run to the store, she doesn't have to figure this out, and I'm sure you guys either have or will have experiences like that, because I think that's just the nature. As we like learn new things, we're able to help other people, which is really fun. So
I love that. Yep, that's really good. I feel the same way with my stuff. Okay, also, what was I gonna say so you got your ear infection taken care of with the colloidal silver?
No, thankfully it just went away.
Oh, good.
I have a Lumi box, so I was doing red light therapy on
Nice.
it a lot and spraying hypochlorous acid, and I think that's kind of what helped. And I know how to prevent it from going forward. So thankfully I was able to avoid the antibiotics this time, but I will be buying the colloidal silver this week. I'm just
Okay.
mad at myself that I didn't buy it during their birthday sale.
Yeah. Oh, yes, the disagree. I know. It was a good deal.
Sorry, I keep tapping on all these things, but one other thing too with ear infections, like we posted the link in the doc, but there's this kids brand of homeopathic that is literally so powerful. Like, and they have the best ear infection thing ever. Like when I've had earaches, like I'll take it, and like when my son, like you can kind of see your kid like kind of grab their ear, you can just give it to them right away. Even if you aren't 100% sure, because it's just so natural, it's not like it's going to impact their gut. Literally, I have done it for my own ear aches, and it's gone. Like the pain goes away, like within like 20 minutes, and then you have to take it again, but like it makes it so that it just doesn't get to like an ear infection. It stays like the earache type thing, usually. So
Yeah. And like with kids and stuff, also massaging around the ear, because an ear infection causes because their ears just aren't made to like drain as well as ours. And so if you like massage around, it will kind of help it drain out. And you can do that with your own ear as well. And I also put, like, if anybody does doTERRA or essential oils, I put a little mix in there that you can do that I have had really good luck with, because my first child had like constant ear infections. It was just so painful, but but that worked really well. And it's just a little cotton ball that I have to keep in. Okay. Anything else, Mikkel? Are you good?
Yeah, we're good.
Awesome. Okay, cool. All right, who wants to go next? You want to go next, Emily or Kelsey?
I can go.
Cool.
I just bought some magnesium to take like orally. That was the
Nice.
step I took. And I learned a lot from the different things listed. I had known a lot of them, but I learned some new ones. Just interested to maybe try some of that other stuff. I'm just wondering like what form all of you buy garlic in and how long that lasts.
Oh, good question. So I have two forms. I have the oil, and I have like it's like an immune formula from Christopher's, but he does sell just the garlic oil, but this one also has other things that you cannot take while pregnant. If anybody ever gets pregnant, don't take it. And then I also just will get garlic clove from the store and chop it up tiny and like take it like a pill.
Okay.
And it works so beautifully. Alicia taught me that because her dad does it, and it's amazing.
my parents like never get sick. I mean, my grandma before like anyone got into the stuff, she did a master's degree in nutrition, and she like swears by garlic, So yeah. This also sounds gross, but this is another form that we did when we were little and you couldn't swallow it. It's disgusting, but we would put like, we would peel a clove of garlic. I can't even believe I'm admitting this to you guys, but we would peel a clove of garlic and put it in our cheek at night. And so you'd suck on it at night, and it actually was very effective. Sometimes you'd like, yeah, like sometimes we bite it and it wakes you up because it's so spicy, and like talk about horrible breath the next day. But like when we were young and couldn't like swallow pills, like that was like what we did a lot. We'd always like want one. So that was one thing that we did. And I also do the Christopher's like tincture. I prefer that now, but I would not recommend like the Costco brand of like pre-diced, because I think a lot of the nutrients is probably like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah, you
but
gotta
I
get
love
it
like,
fresh
better than
cloves.
nothing, you know.
Yeah.
So do you only do that if you feel like you're getting sick, or you would do that just all the time, like as a supplement?
It's up to you. So my parents actually literally every day, it's just like they're in their morning routine, they do it, where they just like
Oh.
cut up one clove, and they like really don't get sick that often, which is surprising because they,
Oh,
yeah. So that is one thing. The other thing I was gonna say too, oh shoot, what was I thinking? Yeah, anyways, I forgot what I was gonna say, but
There's also like for children, I like the garlic oil because you can just like do a little bit in a juice or something, and it does. I mean, it's gonna still make the you're gonna taste it, okay? But like, you know, just put it in a little tiny cup and be like chug chug. You know,
yeah.
that's a
did you
good
guys
idea.
link that garlic oil on the
I
You
think
can-
we did. Let me
I put the,
check.
I put the full Christopher's, like the full tincture on mine. I don't know if you put the oil. I haven't done the oil.
Oh yeah,
I think it's
I can link it on there. Yeah.
The other thing I was going to say too, actually, so we've only found this at one store, but freeze-dried garlic at it's Food Storage Depot in
Oh yeah.
West Jordan, but you can order it online. So they have freeze-dried garlic. So I actually bought that as a medicinal thing, because, and also for spices, but like I haven't had to open it, but like it retains the nutrients. So like if I ran
awesome.
out of all the other stuff, I'd have this huge thing of garlic, and I'm like, you can use garlic for everything. Like that's like probably also like a number one, if I only had one thing, garlic would probably be it. So then you don't need
Okay. Thank you.
yeah, of course. Yeah, garlic is great.
Yes.
So funny
we
how like
love
these
garlic.
simple things that we just have are just like so powerful, but we just kind of overlook them.
Yeah.
So it's just the regular one is just called Christopher's Original Oil of Garlic, but I'll link it in there. And then the formula, the immune formula is like super. It's called like super immune or something formula.
Okay.
So I'll just link it right here. Okay, what else? Like, how was there anything else like that you were kind of feeling pulled to in the list and that you have questions about, or
No, I think all my other questions were answered from the other people that
okay.
have done. So yeah, I think I'm
Okay.
good.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, and I'm like really interested to hear from you guys if there was any like pushback from anything on the list, like anything that like felt uncomfortable to you or that you were like, what the heck, like kind of thing. Like I love to hear stuff like that.
We have a friend who like colloidal silver, she's like very opposed to, like, so it's fine,
Yes.
and we totally welcome other perspectives. Like we're
Yes, I love it.
not like, yeah, just so you know.
Just chime in. Cool. Is there anything else from you, Emily? Any thoughts or comments or questions?
No, great tips. I just got to implement them now.
Yes, I know. Yes. It's good. One thing at a time. When I kind of started this, I really started with like one thing at a time. I actually started with doTERRA oils, and I love them. I love them. I've had very good success with them with so many different things. So that's what most of my recommendations on here, if you go under my name, is like doTERRA stuff and like different combinations that I use. But then I don't know, it's just like one little step at a time, kind of a line upon line. And as like Alicia was saying, like as your mind opens, like the Lord will lead you to things, but he only gives us stuff that he's like, okay, I know you're ready for this now, and kind of thing. So
Yeah.
cool. All right,
Thank you.
Kelsey. Thank you.
Hi, sorry for coming
What's
on
up?
late.
No, you came in perfect time. You're great.
Yeah, I thought the list was awesome. I just think it's so interesting because like I took an herbalism class like last
Cool.
year, something like that. And they were telling me all this stuff and I was like, okay, this kind of feels like snake oil, you know. Because because like she would tell us stuff that was like really cool about the herbs, and then like every lesson she would like tell us some crazy story about like that was just like not possible. You're just like,
Yeah.
okay, well, how much of that is real? But I've actually like gone through and like done a couple of like made some tinctures, made some extracts myself from like stuff in my garden. And some of the things worked, like a lot of the things worked actually.
Cool.
And yeah, and so I was like, okay, so I think she was just telling stories to sort of just like make people like pay attention, probably. Because like one of them was like there was this man who she like rubbed down, or like some story of like a man who got injured like in his esophagus and couldn't swallow food, and so his mom just like rubbed him down with olive oil, and that was like enough to keep him alive for 6 months. And I was just like, I don't think so.
Yeah,
like
for real.
did you eat anything else or something? And I was just like, all right, like that seems a little crazy. Um but I've just like grown to like learn that like, I mean, like it makes perfect sense in my mind that like the herbs that like God has created are
Yes.
literally for us. It says it in the Word of Wisdom that, like He's created all these things for our use. And I think it's kind of sad that like there's so many people who are so skeptical of it nowadays. Like I was skeptical,
Of the
and
safer
I
thing
really
and-
wanted to
yeah.
know. I was like, I want to know. I'm going to investigate for myself and figure this out. And anyway, the one thing that I really that drew me was the detox bath, because I was like, oh, I've never tried that before. I'll have to add that to my repertoire and try it out when my kids are sick. So there's that. And then I had a question about the magnesium, because I do have a magnesium drink that I take at night sometimes. The first few times I did it, it like helped me sleep so much better through the night. But then I started not sleeping so well, after a
What's
while.
the drink?
It's
Is it
called
called?
Mellow Out. It's just, I don't know, it's like magnesium and vitamin B stuff. So yeah, and I don't know. I don't know. Like it worked for a while, and then it was like, I don't know if it was the drink or if it was just something else going on in my life, but it kind of stopped working, and so I stopped taking it. And then I was just like, maybe if I take it intermittently, like not so often, I don't know. Like, but anyway, I know that like everyone's super magnesium deficient and that magnesium is really important, but that was just one thing. And then when I heard about your guys' magnesium bath or whatever, I was like, I gotta try that. And
That
so
thing
that
will
was-
knock you out though too. The magnesium bath. It really will. Do it at night.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've got like this really holistic sister-in-law who she kind of keeps things close to the chest unless you like ask her specifically, because she's just experienced a lot of like people being skeptical, and she's just like, I'm not here to like evangelize this to you, I guess, but like if you ask, then I'll tell, and so she told me about colloidal silver or colloidal silver.
Mhm.
Anyway, I always say it wrong. And so like I've been using that for like 2 years now. And so that was cool to see on your list. I was like, yay, I'm not alone.
Yes.
know?
Oh yeah, we love it so much. So
Yeah.
I have a question about like when your magnesium, you said it was not so effective. Was it after like a month or 2 months or?
It was like pretty quick actually. It was like within 2 weeks.
Okay. So I wonder, when was that? Do you like remember the time?
I don't.
Okay,
It was
that's okay. Because like there's like a couple things, because I have had a similar thing happen with me. And what I didn't realize was I actually so your blood sugar drops at night. And and sometimes it can actually wake you up if you are also stressed. And it's just like a normal thing that your body does. Your blood sugar, everybody, it happens. It dips at night right around 2 or 3 o'clock. And then it comes back up in the morning. And So that was one thing for me. Like I tried starting to eat like a snack at night and that helped. Or like make sure you're getting good like protein, fiber, fat at dinner so that you can stay full longer. Um, but yeah, and then also just like I think stress in general, just when you have a little bit of extra cortisol, that can spike at about 3 a.m. So also I'm also interested to know like what time you woke up, if you ever pay attention to that. And
Yeah, it was like
then
3 or 4 a.m. So
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's like pretty consistent with like a lot of, different little things. So I would say the magnesium was probably still helping you. But if
Mhm.
you were like kind of in a stressful season or a week, that can affect it. And I mean, always, trying to get your balanced meal at dinner time is really good. And yeah, what do you think, Alicia? Do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, so there's an interesting thing too that I learned in this holistic health coach like certification thing that I did is they talked about how there's actually, I don't know if you can, I think you can probably Google it, but like there's a chart that shows the order. So like when you go to sleep, there's an order that your body detoxes in. It goes through different organs. And typically there's a certain time that it will just by the nature of like, when you go to sleep and stuff. So I believe like liver is like 2 to 3. So that's why the blood sugar thing is an issue. But and I don't remember off the top of my head like what the other things are, but like that's just something to be aware of for anyone with sleep is like pay attention to the time because I think for a lot of women it probably is that because I've actually struggled with that recently with like waking up at around 2 either and it's like just to go to the bathroom but it's usually because I'm waking up and I started doing the snack too and it really helped me when I
Mhm.
think to do it like I'll do like a banana and peanut butter so I get protein and so it doesn't spike my blood sugar again. But like it's weird because some people like everyone is so unique, right? So it's like obviously we're not saying like what you should do, but because some people say like, oh, okay, don't have any food after 7, right? Because the intermittent fasting can be helpful too. So it's such a purple thing, and just like there's different aspects of it. Our bodies are so have different stressors and things like that. So
Okay.
Does that help at all?
Yeah, that does actually. I would like to see that chart.
let me see if
Yeah.
I can find it really quick. I don't know if it's like on the web or not, but yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I think too, if anything, oh, sorry, go ahead. I interrupted you.
oh no, you're good. You go. Because I was about to change
Oh,
subject a few.
okay. I was gonna say, I think too, if anything, like it might kind of lead you to do a little more research and lead you to the right answer, right?
Yeah.
Because we might not be able to get to the very bottom of it today, or maybe you can, I don't know. But it might lead you down a path to kind of figure that out.
Mhm.
And like I'm just a huge fan of like researching with the Holy Ghost. Like it's just I have found so many amazing solutions that I never thought I would find. I thought when I started my health journey and like I had periods all over the place and all this stuff, like they were like so bad, like massive blood clots. Like you would think I was postpartum, but I was not. It was like 2 years after I had my baby.
Yeah.
And I thought that I had like a totally different problem than what it actually turned out to be. And I remember like being so anxious about, oh my gosh, it's this. And it's like, felt like my life was over, right? Which it wasn't, everything, your body's so amazing and it's literally built to heal. You just have to kind of create the environment for that. But it turned out like as I was fasting and praying and researching and seeking, the Lord led me to the right answers and the right people. And I was like, oh my gosh, like it's just so shocking what it actually came out to be that feels like such less of a big deal, so like easy to heal if you get with the right people and they know what they're doing and you know what you're doing and you know what I mean? So, anyways, you'll figure it out. I know you will. But it is something that your body might be telling you that's like, hey, like we need a little adjustment here, we
Yeah.
could use a little. Yeah. So,
Yeah, that'd be great. I also, okay, here's the other thing. I have this aunt who has suffered from insomnia for years, but she is like so, and it makes me so sad because I love her so much, and she just like okay, go play. She has oh man, like almost died like because of this insomnia. Like she, she'll take like naps during the day, like little cat naps.
Hmm.
And I don't know, like she swears that like one day when she was like napping, she like stopped breathing, and um like she had like this vision of an angel telling her that she needed to go back into her body like ASAP because her work was like not done, because she's big into like family history, like doing the names to the temple, stuff like that. And when I heard that, I was like, oh my gosh, you gotta get your health in order. But she is not open to anything, like she's not open to like any change, any help, any, she's always helping others, but she's never open to like anyone helping her. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, I don't know, like if I could like slowly, like incrementally, like introduce like
Indoctrinate
something
her.
that people, like I don't know, because she's like very like stuck in her ways, stuck in like, no, this is what works, it's working, and I'm like, okay, but is it? Because you're not sleeping,
Yeah. Well,
Um,
and sleep is huge. That's when your body heals. Like,
yeah,
that's literally huge.
yeah.
I think Alicia has really good experience. So are you kind of asking like
Oh.
how to help her want
Like-
to get well, or like how to help her listen to you, or like what?
I don't know. Like I don't know, anything that helps.
Yeah, Alicia, this
I
has been
could
with
speak
her,
on this
girl.
for days. I've done it the wrong
Yeah.
way for many years. Yeah, Alexis knows all the crap I've done. No, it's okay. No, I've learned so much and it's been such a gift, truly. I have been exactly where you're at. I'm like, oh my gosh, everyone just needs to see the light of day and then they'll be able to sleep and be healthy and all this stuff. And it's and for me, it was like, well, I don't know. Okay, this is what I think for me. So like this is kind of a weird analogy, but when I was in high school, I grew up on the East Coast and like I was like one of the only people in our church that was out there, and like I kind of like had to stick up my bum about it, that I would be like very like, if you guys can't see the light of day, then whatever, And so like I was very like guarded about like interacting with people who were not members of our faith, all the things. But as I've gotten to be older and like developed more conviction and like actual true like a testimony of the gospel in this case, like I find that I have so much more love and compassion, understanding that like they're on their own journey and like it's perfect, even though it's hard. And so it's been interesting because with health, I've kind of gone through the exact same thing where I didn't realize it. And I'm not saying this is the case for you, but like for me personally, I didn't really feel like I wanted other people to like validate how I felt about holistic health because there's so much controversy of it in the world. And like, yeah, there was aspects of it where I would have conversations with like my sister and tell her not to do certain things, or I would tell my parents like how to figure this out. But honestly, it's crazy. The more that I just take a step back, like my parents bought a sauna, like, which is insane for them, and it's healed my mom's skin issues. And I had no part in it. Like they went on a trip and like I told them about the research about saunas many times before that. But then once they had their own experience, then they had seen the results that I was having from living it, And I mean, it's so simple. I mean, we know obviously example is like the greatest way, but it's hard when you see these people you care about. But I don't know. I've had a lot of experiences in my life where I like am a passionate person, so I'll push things on people like really hard when I'm like, this is clearly the solution, don't you know? Like I'll tell them. And then it
Yeah.
just hurts the relationship. They lose a lack of trust in you. They don't trust anything you say, or what's happened to me, So I just think, I don't know, the older I get, the more like I stray on the side of like just not talking about it. But then you have these experiences. Like I have this other, I may add this to the list because this has been one of the things that has really been influential for me. But like I started taking this supplement and like I was telling about it at someone at church, and then this woman was like, what are you saying? And like she was like, this is literally an answer to prayer. This is exactly the supplement I needed. And like I wanted so many other people to take it, but like she was the one that needed and was ready. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I don't know if that's actually helpful or not, but like that's just in my experience. And it's so painful and frustrating, but it's like the more that we can just keep the focus on ourselves, the more people see that, and then they're like, oh, whoa, like why is your family so healthy and not getting sick? And why are my kids getting sick every single week? Like it's kind of frustrating when you're like, can't you guys see this? Like, can't you see the results? But we're all hard-hearted in our own way, right?
I guess. Yeah, that's true.
I love that. I think too, sorry, did you have something to bounce back, Kelsey?
Mm-mm.
Okay, I was gonna say, I think too, it's like there's a right time for everyone, just like Alicia said, and everyone has their path, but I think that the Holy Ghost will always tell you, like, say this. And the thing is, too, and one thing that I have learned also from Alicia's journey is if you're prompted to say it, just say it. And you may not get the response that you are expecting with a prompting. Like, we might think, oh, I'm prompted to say this, and so everything's going to work out hunky dory, and they're going to be like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. But you may not always get that same response. But if you're speaking what the Holy Ghost is telling you to say, then it's helping in some way. You know what I mean? Like, you just got to kind of trust that. But on the same note, just being really discerning, like, and knowing for sure, like, this is a prompting. Do you need me to say this? Or is this just something I'm like really like feeling like, like I gotta get this out? You know what I mean? So I don't know, but everybody has their right time. I'm the same way, and nobody's gonna convince anyone of anything like the Holy Ghost can and like experience can. Because like I wasn't really ready. Like, Alicia tried to share a lot of holistic stuff with me for a long time, and I was never really ready until I was sick, to be honest. That was like a really humbling experience for me, and I knew that she could help, and I needed her help, and so that kind of started me on the journey. But yeah.
But okay, I have one extra piece that I feel like kind of strongly to share, but
Yes.
it's a little bit scary
Yes.
to share this with you, but like I want to share it like a little bit more vulnerable story that's like kind of like will probably flip your mindset a little bit. So, and I just want to be sensitive because it's like a pretty controversial topic, but like I've just had a lot of like hardship in my life because of this. So okay. And I wouldn't share this publicly. Like, this is just gonna be, like, this is a very, I don't know. Anyways, maybe
We may cut this out of the recording.
no, but I just feel really strongly to share it, so I don't know why. So just like keep it here, I guess. So okay, so I went really extreme with like all things holistic health. I had my son in 2020. I got really extreme about vaccines. Felt very strongly not to do vaccines, which I know so controversial, right? That was just my own thing. So my now ex-husband felt completely opposite. Okay. And we fought a lot about it, a lot. And I was so prideful about it. So prideful. I let it create contention in a way that like, yeah, anyways, I was so prideful about it. And as we had gone through like the divorce process, like I kept praying, like, what do I do? Like, it was coming up in our papers, like what to do with this, because it was something that I was like, I will die on this horse. Like, I will not let a vaccine touch his skin, anyways. And so I was like praying about it a lot. And like Alexis was very helpful in this process, but like the Lord basically told me, he's like, Alicia, you need to trust his dad. And you also need to like let go of this. And so the crazy thing is our papers weren't even finalized. It wasn't even in the papers. And I felt like, tell him that he can go like vaccinate him. And I was like, gonna do all the detox remedies and all the prep and like all these things. But like I'd had a prompting. Sorry, I'm gonna cry. Like, this is just like, it's really flipped my head so much about this because we just don't know God's ways, like we think we do, but then we don't. But like, so a month or two before I'd had this prompting to order this supplement that I knew I'd heard about for years, but a couple people had mentioned it around the same time. And so I ordered it and I started giving it to my son and me, which I knew that it would help with that based on what I understood. But it was really interesting because so in the process, like he had eczema and his eczema went away. He got the vaccine, which was still scary to me, just from my own point of reference. I let him do it. I didn't even pick it. I wanted to like pick him up right away and do it right away because I didn't want it to get into, anyways, extreme, right? But I just felt like, Alicia, just like trust, and of course I did the stuff when I had him at my house. But the craziest side effect of all of this was that this supplement, like, had I not been okay with like this thing that I felt was so wrong, and it could be for anything, right? Like, this supplement has literally healed me in ways like none of the supplements I've taken have ever healed. Like, I took so many before, but it's like I was impressed to do this because I took a step that seems like in the opposite direction. My son is totally fine, but I have healed in ways that like I never would have healed if I had been so prideful thinking that he was the one that was wrong. And so I don't know, it just was a very impactful story, and hopefully I'm like conveying it well enough, but like it's just I've talked to Alexis about this a lot. In my own personal experience, I think the Lord just wants our hearts and he wants us to see things in a new light and to repent. And it's not always that it's not doing ibuprofen or doing ibuprofen. It's not doing vaccines or vaccines. Like, I don't know enough, but like based on my own experience and the way that healing has come, it's always like opposite when I get really stuck in something, it's always opposite. So anyways, I don't know. Did I convey that well enough, Alexis? You know a lot of the details. You can add anything else you want, but
Yeah, I love that. I'm just gonna unmute you, Kelsey. I just muted you. It's Alicia good. But yes. I mean, I think like I love it. I love everything you said. I think what it really comes down to is thinking like having an eternal perspective and thinking celestial. Because it's really true. Like I've been friends with Alicia for a long time and we've been very close for a long time. And I did watch some of her relationships totally crumble because of her extremeness, I guess you could say, like, you know, about like health things. And I mean, I even faced it one time I was sick. This is so funny. She was like, I started drinking out of a plastic bottle and she's like, don't drink from that. And I was
Gosh, look at
like,
that. Oh, that's sweet.
no, it's totally fine. I was just like, okay, you know, because I'm just whatever, you know, I'm that type. But and she's changed so much, and I feel like that's just exactly what the Lord wants. I don't necessarily think it's about this is the best way or that's the best way for him, for God. I think it's about how we okay, a couple things, because I'm also thinking of my kids, and I've had a lot of experiences with this in the last few weeks. How we entice in his ways and draw people in his ways and still allow them to have their agency and love them nonetheless and honor that in them. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know we were gonna go here today, but you know, but I feel like that's like the biggest thing, because why did we come here? Why did we choose to come to Earth? Is to become like him. And so I guess like my suggestion or advice could be to strive for that. Like, how would the Lord handle this, and how would he entice, and how would he honor what she chooses nonetheless, or how would he honor what my kids choose nonetheless? And you know what I mean? Like, just trying to do it his way. And heavens to be, it is hard. And it's painful, because there are definitely times, like for my kids, like sometimes my kids like refuse priesthood blessings, and I'm just like, no, you have no idea this is gonna help you, you know? And I'm just like, it's so hard, you know, to like, but I mean, when I just decided to let it go, and I was like, okay, like I gotta trust her, because my 6-year-old, because if she, you know, doesn't feel like she wants to get it, it's still not going to help that much, because it's according to her faith. You know what I mean? So, just like, yeah, I don't know. What are you thinking from that? And what's your thoughts?
No, that makes a lot of sense. Um, I mean, yeah, no, I totally experienced that where I'm like, I just want to share this with you. I just want to share this with you. Just let me talk. Like, let me share, you know, and there's a lot of people who, you know, just because of like my political stance or how I've like been in the past, like don't want to listen to me. And I get it. Like, I feel like I'm trying to change, but like, I feel like there's a lot of people who just remember how I was, you know, with being so like intense and so like, you know, like this is great. You should try it. Like, just try it, you know, and, you know, a lot of people just not being open to that. And like, you know, um, I'm trying really hard to dial back, but it's hard. It's hard because I'm like, I feel so strongly about it. Um, um, but yeah, I'm just trying to be, anyway, I'm trying to be okay. Like, I feel like I like kind of made a breakthrough recently on this. Because like I have a sister who is completely opposite to me. Like she's 2 years older than me, and she's always, you know, like ever since we were little, she's always like tried to like get a reaction out of me, which has been like, you know, rough.
Sisters, you know.
You know, and so like I always respond really big, and I'm like, ah, I hate you, you know, like all this stuff, and Hi, that's my son.
Hi, friend.
And so like we were just chatting in the family chat about like the political events that have been happening. And you know, she just goes like ham on me. My dad, all right, that's enough. Okay, I'm talking, okay? Can you go play? Go play for 5 more minutes? Yeah. And you know, I was just like, you know, my dad posts like crazy memes that like, you know, were opposite her opinion. My brother was making like really, you know, divisive statements that are like really against the way she believes. And then I posted a Tucker Carlson video, you know, and that was it. No accompanying opinion, just like, hey, like, check this out, you know. And then she immediately attacks, you know, and it's just like, it's always like me. She won't attack my brother, she won't attack my dad, she won't attack anyone, but she'll attack me, you know. And still like, and so I'm just like, whew. So I kind of just like, instead of doing my regular like, you know, like big reaction, she you know, I just asked her question, you know, and she kept on trying to like poke and poke and poke, you know, and just like try to get that reaction out of me, and I just like wouldn't let her have it, you know. And so I just like felt like it was kind of a breakthrough for me to just be like, okay, I can do this. Like, I don't have to respond emotionally, I don't have to respond big and crazy. I can just like, you know, because like my responses were like, well, maybe if you could like be more specific, I could understand you better. Or maybe if you could, you know, like just better communication in general, you know. Like, hey, hey, I'm busy. Can you go help her? Yeah. Too big. Anyway, so like I appreciate what you guys have all said today, and it has really helped me because I mean, that's different, but like I do have like other reactions with people that are my friends who agree with me on many things, who still are kind of like, okay, you know,
Back
like,
up. Yeah.
just back up, you know. And
It's the energy, right? Yeah.
right. And so I'm like kind of realizing, okay, like I come off strong on people, you know, and I'm trying to dial back. And so I'm like trying to be like, okay, I need to be more calm about this. I need to show that like I really am at peace with like the decisions I've made. I really am like okay with, you know, you doing what you want to do. And that's like, you know, what, Article Faith 11 or something, you know, we claim the privilege, you know, of worshiping the Almighty God according to the dictates of our conscience, and allow all men the same privilege, you know. And
that.
so like I just need to allow all men the same privilege a little bit more, you know. Not only in like, you know, it's not like I'm forcing them to do anything. It's just like it's just like they feel pressured, you know. And so I'm trying to like back off on the pressure, I guess, a little bit. But I really appreciate like this holistic stuff because I have been learning a lot about it. One other topic it's kind of random, wanted to ask you about is like parasites, because to me that feels a little bit like the ultimate snake oil, because you can never tell if all the parasites are gone. You know, I don't know.
That's true.
And
Yeah. I have passed parasites before. Alicia's done stuff to pass parasites before. I did it in like kind of a unique way. I didn't use like an actual protocol. So I just like had this feeling. It was literally all promptings. I had this feeling to double my zinc intake and to start taking this enzyme. And I wasn't thinking about parasites at all. And I passed to parasite. And then I looked up later that they don't like zinc and they don't like digestive enzymes. And so yeah. But as far as truthfully, I haven't studied him a whole lot. But
I could add some stuff. I have done a
yeah,
lot.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, and one other
But
thing I just want to, oh, go ahead.
oh no, you go. So you're gonna
Well,
add
I'm
it
just
to the
gonna like
list.
put a bow on that like last little piece, just because like I think what you're navigating, and like especially in the preparedness world in general, preparedness and health, there's so much controversy. And like personally, like my own beliefs on this, like just there's a lot of contention and there's a lot of divide with all of it. And like I learned really the hard way with a lot of things in 2020 and just the strong opinions and realizing like I needed to temper my passions to like within the balance the Lord wants us to have. And like, I don't know, even though we're in the preparedness world, like we really are trying to stay in the middle as much as we can, because like it's not about one side politically, one side health wise, even, you know, even though like, yes, I've wrestled with similar things that you have, but it's not. I've just learned that anything in the extreme is not from God, you know, and whether, you know, and so yeah, I don't know. I feel passionately that like the division is going to get harder to navigate, and the more that we can like learn through these experiences, like to like just be the peacemaker, you know, in certain ways, like and still have conviction, like you can still have opinions, but just like, you know, keep them unless people ask, you know. So it's tricky though.
I think you're well on your way, Kelsey, to that. Like the fact that you're kind of becoming aware of it, that's like step one to change. And I feel like, you know, yeah, it really is. And you must be kind of ready. I could tell you were feeling pain about it when you were talking about it. I could tell that's like a hard thing for you. Like especially with your sister and all that. And I think like sometimes when we're finally made aware of these things, like these weaknesses become strengths, right? But we can't change anything until we're aware. So I think you can do this. I think you're well on your way, and I think the Lord is changing you. And as you seek that change and you seek to become more like him, I think you'll be successful. I really do. So
Love it.
yeah. Well, we're out of time. We're a little over on time, but we usually get done early. So hopefully that works out for everyone. So this was a really good conversation, and we can totally keep it going in the group chat if you guys have other things to say. Again, I would ask, please fill out, I'll put the link to it in the group chat too, if that's easier for everybody, but please fill out the post-call survey. And then are we gonna get out a full like post experience survey?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So we'll send that out too. And we just ask that you please fill that out. It helps us so much to make things so much better. And then so we missed one module. We missed the financial one, which I'm very sad about because Jessica is like a master budgeter, and that she just has changed my life with budgeting. Alicia's too. And so we are gonna have that in our membership, and we wanted to offer you guys a discount on the membership. It's going to be a monthly thing. It's normally going to be 25 a month, but we wanted to offer it to you guys for 19 a month, and you can cancel anytime. So if you still want to catch that financial module, then we'll get you the link and you can sign up when it's time. Okay. And we'll remind you of that too. But yeah, thank you. This was so good. Does anybody have any last comments or questions or anything about that, about the membership? I guess I didn't tell you a ton about it, but
Yeah,
it's
we'll
gonna
give
be
you more
similar to this.
details because it's not live yet, but yeah, it'll be like a little bit more spread out. So yeah.
Yes, yeah, it's gonna be monthly instead of weekly, so you'll have more time to do all the things, which will probably be helpful. But
No, I'm super excited. I definitely want that because when you posted about Jessica's birthday, you said like how organized she was and how her budgeting
Yes.
is changing her life. I was like, where can we get her tips? Where is
Yes.
she sharing all of this knowledge? Because I need my life to run so much more smoothly.
Oh,
So
she
that'd be
is a
awesome.
master at life. Like I know, I am obsessed. Anyway.
When our
Hey,
hope is,
yeah. Okay.
is with the ongoing membership to be able to like help you guys implement these things like in a slower way and consistently and
Okay.
have the accountability, you know. And so it won't be so fire hosey, but like you guys did so great.
Yeah, you guys did so good. Okay, well, we'll send out an email about that little 30-minute wrap-up call, and we'll kind of celebrate, and we'll answer any other questions that you guys might have that come up in the next couple weeks as you're kind of like continuing on your own preparations, and kind of like I'm sure you'll probably want to go back to some of the other weeks and, you know, be like just wrap some of your own things up, and you might have questions come up. So we're going to have that last call, and it's also going to be a celebration of you and all the accomplishments you've made, because it might feel like not a lot when you're just like living your life and doing these things, but like it's a huge deal, and you are making huge changes right now. So we're so proud of you. Okay, and we love you guys. Have a good one.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We love you. Okay, bye.
Bye.